Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mike Sturm, the Executive Director with Howl. Today we're going to be going over building a fire. Pretty important skill to have in the backwoods, and just something that's kind of fun to know how to do. It's important to never overlook the usefulness of resources around you. So what we have here is an old, kind of semi-rotten birch stump. And that's not particularly interesting to me, but what is interesting is there's a piece of chaga down here that I'm going to kind of hack out, and also on the side that is downwind of the prevailing wind conditions, so it doesn't have snow packed onto it, there is some real papery, fairly dry bark, and these are excellent fire starters, particularly this chaga. If this chaga is dry, this is your best friend in a survival situation. So I'm going to get after this and harvest some materials for our fire building project. So this is chaga, chunk of it, and it's really light, so it should be nice and dry. This holds a spark amazingly well, and it takes a spark very, very well too. So this will be a big help. And you can keep it going forever and ever and ever. And it makes really good tea that's super, super good for you. So this is going to be super handy. All right, another thing that makes an excellent fire starter is this lichen. But this lichen alone has its drawbacks. It holds a lot of moisture. So what you need is to impregnate it with something that will light up without having to be super, super dry. And you'll notice that there's these blisters here and here and here and here. Here's a real good close-up of what those blisters look like. When we cut them open, all right, as you can see in here, there's a bunch of liquid sap, and there's also plenty in the little blister part as well. So we just take this and I scoop this out with a knife, right, and you can see all of that resin, and that works great to hold a flame. Hey everybody, in today's video we are going to be using a ferro rod to create the spark, and we're going to be striking it with pocket knife. This is an Opinel number 8. It's one of my favorite knives on the market right now. It's simple. Anyway, it has a carbon steel blade, and you got to have a carbon steel blade, otherwise your ferro rod will not work. Just a helpful tip: don't ever strike with the blade open. You could damage your blade or you could cut yourself. It's always better to keep it closed, and in just a moment I'm going to get everything set up and we'll make a little fire. Just a small enough one to show you how it's done. This is the sap impregnated tree lichen you saw me gathering earlier. Just going to pull this apart a bit so that we've got a little more surface area for sparks to land on and catch. As you can see, we're up and rolling in a jiffy. 3 strokes. Man, that sap burns hot. Now I can this is just birch bark that burns really, really good whether it's wet or dry. There's a lot of resin in it. Got some other kindling here that I can get going. Setting that right on top there. And voila, we have fire. All right, now what I have here is a bunch of the white outer bark from some birch that I took off of that rotten birch tree earlier. What I'm going to do is just kind of rub it together, break those fibers up a bit so we've got a little more surface area for our spark to catch. Spread it into a nice little bundle here. All right. There we go. And we are up and rolling. Again, you want to have some twigs handy so that you can feed something to this fire that will, you know, last. But birch bark, even if it's a little bit damp, lights up very, very well, and you can create a very nice little fire. And the last one for today is chaga. Let's see how this works. See that black spot right there? That is what you're looking for. Now that will hold a ember just like that for quite some time, and you can use that to create fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of birch bark and a little bit of twigs and some tree lichen and blow it into a flame. All right, and we have fire. This is Dr. Sturm, the Executive Director of HOWL. From all of us at HOWL, I want to give you a big thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you learned something. Being able to create a fire is potentially life-saving. It's also potentially life-taking, so be careful. Create your fires with adult supervision and have a good time. You can learn this skill and hundreds of other skills if you join us this summer, 2018, for our summer programming. The HOWL program is off the chain, and 2018 is going to be no different. Running around in the woods, learning survival skills, learning shelter building skills, gathering, fishing, etc. It's going to be amazing. Check out our website at howlalaska.org, and I will see you this summer.